In the last update video I did in September, I talked about the new rich content editor. I have some more information about that. I want to actually go into a little bit more detail so that you get a better idea of how it's different and why you would want to start using it sooner than it actually comes out. So the release date for the rich content editor, and if that term doesn't really mean anything to you, it's the text box that you use everywhere in Canvas where you actually type things. It's called a rich content editor. June of 2020, they are going to be completely replacing the old rich content editor with a new improved one. So we have until June. However, in November the 16th, when they do the next release of Canvas upgrades, you'll have the ability to actually turn on the rich content editor in your course or in each course. So that you can start using it now. So yes, it gives you some familiarity with it, but there's some performance. There's some things that are about it that are actually much more efficient, a little bit easier, and I think you'll like it. So I'm going to use this video to really highlight those so that you feel as confident as possible when this change occurs. So we'll just go top to bottom, left to right here. So the biggest change that visually is that they've taken a lot of those menu options and they've collapsed them. All right, they've collapsed them to give you some more typing space. So most everything is in drop-down form now. So we have our font is the first item that's on here. We have our different standard formats on there. We have bold, italic, underline. We have text color, highlight color, superscript or subscript, left, center, or right, justify, a new variety of enhanced bullet types and numbering types, which is kind of a nice addition there. There's indenting, paragraph indent. Then this one here, the links, typically we see that for linking to external sites, which you can do. You can link to USA Today or Newsela or Palladium Item or Richmond Athletics, whatever. You can still do that. But you might have noticed that the content pane, which was over here on the right-hand side in the old rich content editor, is not there anymore. Basically, that's the place where you could create links to existing pages that you already have, or bring in images or files or assignments or quizzes. That's no longer over here, and the immediate payoff is that I have much more real estate to work with. I have a bigger text box, more room to work. But how do I get to those things? Well, that's here under links, because those are links, so it makes sense to put it under links. But those are what are called course links. When I click course links, you can see pages, assignments, quizzes, everything that you have in your course already. You'll be able to easily and quickly create links to, just like that. Okay, so that's a really big change. It'll take a few times before you get used to it, but again, drop down, course links, and those are the links from your course itself. Then we move over to images. Big one in images is that there's three kinds of images you could put in here. One would be one that you upload, so it's already on your computer. The other would be course images, so maybe it's an image that you already have in your course somewhere else, so maybe it's a diagram or an icon. It's much simpler to actually find it and insert it. You can see the image, it's much cleaner, super simple to do. And then even once it's in there, you can scale it and do everything you want to do with it. So that's one kind of images, the course image. The other is My Images, and with My Images, that's actually looking at your Canvas account. So in Canvas, under Files, I'm going to hit Cancel because I don't want to lose my work. You'll actually be able, you can have images there. So those would be images that you can make available in all of your courses. So if you have images there, you can certainly access them. So I want to come back to the upload images, because traditionally in the old rich content editor, you would have to click and find the file on your computer, which is, for me, it tends to be kind of a scavenger hunt. Sometimes I take the image and I put it on my desktop so that I can quickly access it, and then I always forget to get rid of it. But if you know where it is, that's not a huge deal to click and find it. But they've added in some features here that are some nice, a feature that's a really nice update, which is the ability to drag and drop. So, I can make my screen, a little bit smaller, and I can actually grab an image off my desktop, drag it, and drop it. So I mean, it's really simple to add images, way easier than it was in the old rich content editor. So drag and drop is a really nice feature. I'm super glad that they did that. So that's images. Very similarly here, the media, actually video is a little confusing because in the old rich content editor there was like an add video icon, and then there was also a upload media, or like media recorder icon, and it's kind of like, well, they're both videos, so they just combined the two. You can upload, record media. So from here I can just say, hey, there's already a file on my computer. Again, I can drag or drop if I want, or I can click on it and search my files and try to find the video. But if I want to use that rich content editor, I just click on record, and it's going to go ahead and bring up my camera. And oh, this is really weird. I'm recording myself, and you'll be able to access the rich content, the media recorder that way. So again, that's under video. And then here under documents, these would be files. You can upload files. You can find files that already exist in your course. Or you can find files that exist in your Canvas account. But the cool thing about all four of these different types of things you can upload is if you click on the I'm sorry about that. If I go to course documents, you're going to notice something up top. I can toggle between links, course files, and my files from this window. Okay, I can even change from documents to images to media. So even if I inadvertently choose the wrong thing here, I can always pick the one that I want. So just some nice user benefit that they've engineered into it. So you might be saying, well, there's a bunch of other stuff I had in the rich content editor menu that's not there anymore. Well, that's what these three little dots are for. Okay, we click the three dots, and those are going to be some additional things. Like, for example, what is this one? What is that one? It's a good question. I'm not sure what that one is. I'm going to try something. Yeah, I'm not sure what that one is. I need to do a little research. But this is how we insert a table. Okay. This is how we add math equations. The LaTeX or LaTeX, whatever you want to call it. And then this would be your plugins or your LTIs. So all those things that you've added to your course, whether it's Twitter or YouTube or Commons favorites, things like that. So it's going to take some time to get used to this. Rest assured, pretty much everything. I haven't found anything that was in the old rich content editor that's not in the new one. It's just a matter of where it's found. So yes, it's going to take a few weeks probably for you to become accustomed to it, but I really think the way they've designed it and laid it out and the features they built into it, it's actually going to make you much more efficient. A few more things that I want to point out to you. There's keyboard shortcuts. I didn't know if you knew that in Canvas, but there's some super slick keyboard shortcuts for anybody that's wanting to save time that way. The accessibility checker is a great tool. For example, I've got an accessibility checker. I have an image that doesn't have the alt text in there correctly. I have a table that doesn't have a caption describing what's in it. And I don't have a header in my table. So the accessibility checker tells you all the things that are not accessible about your course and helps you resolve them, which is really cool. Also, there's a word count that's going to be available for students as well. So if the students are typing using their rich content editor, there's going to be a word count there as well. And if you are one that likes to use embed codes and HTML to embed objects, so some people do that with Edpuzzle videos, some people do that with Padlets, some people do that with Google Docs. There's all kinds of other websites you can actually embed onto a Canvas page. That's found down here. So there's no longer the button that says like HTML view. It's now underneath. And this last item down here is the way that you can make your rich content editor window larger. So that's it. So a reminder, the so what to this is June 2020. It's all moving to this, but November 16th, you should be able to go into your course settings, app, feature options, feature options, and then click on the one that says new rich content